Hey Sunrise, it's Andrew here with your small group questions for this week as we get into Advent week 2. And for Advent's second week, we now are looking at the expectation of a priest. So last week was the prophet who would come. Now we're looking at the role Christ plays as priest. So again, we first picked this up a little bit in Psalm 110. A priest in the order of Melchizedek is this promise of one who is to come. And then as we pick it up in our sermon this week, we're looking at Hebrews 4 specifically on the great high priest. So as we think about these things, what comes to mind when you think of the word priest? What does it mean to be a priest? Specifically looking at the Old Testament, what did the early believers think a priest would look like and what his role was? And then when you look at the life of Christ, in what ways did Christ fulfill that role as priest? So as we journey through the text, specifically this week in chapter 4 of Hebrews, we see the text highlighting that Christ is our great high priest. Not only is he our great high priest, but he's a high priest that has sympathized with us. He understands and is one with us, and yet we see without sin, he was not lured by temptation into sin, but overcame sin. So, how do the things that arrive about Christ's priesthood in Hebrews 4 help us to understand who Christ is in the bigger picture when we think of this Advent season? So, who is Christ to us in this way? So, specifically, just looking at his role of priest. And so, how does that shape the way we live? How does Christ's priesthood shape who we are as believers? And how does it shape our love for Christ? How does this aspect of who he is change the way we respond to him and live out the faith? Those are just a couple things as we begin to unpack this Advent season, as we continue to wait in joyful expectation of his second coming while remembering his first. Hope to see you guys on Sunday. Have a great weekend.